And welcome to Phoenix Rising Fridays. If you're here, let me know and say hi. And how are you feeling this morning? I want to just check my internet to make sure that I am good. Yes, I am. And good. Yes. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. So many people listen to this at different times, and whether you're here in person or you are listening to the replay, I welcome you. And I honor you for taking a little bit of time out for yourself because it's so important right now. There's a lot going on in the country, a lot going on in the world. And for you to take the time to be an advocate for yourself because that's what it's really about. We need to, for our own sake and for the sake of others, think about us, get strong ourselves. And this is what I always tell my clients, that is your first responsibility. So, and now getting your immune system up and doing the things that make you feel good. Because here's the thing, I posted in another group, I posted that obstacles don't block us. They're our path, right? Obstacles are going to happen. So, we're going to talk a little bit about then and now. And don't look back, you say. Well, for the most part, this is true. We don't want to dwell on the past, that's for darn sure. But sometimes we can gain something from it. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. And for those who don't know, I'm Karen Treaster, and I am CEO, founder of Never Settle Life Coaching, and I am creator of Phoenix Rising Confidence Igniting. And it is for women to take it to the next level of whatever you're doing in life and business and relationships to feel the best you possibly can. Because when you feel good about yourself and you do things for yourself and you focus intentionally on yourself, then you will rise. And that's what it's all about. If you're here, say hi. All right, so let's get into the topic of then and now. And really it's about taking the time. Again, if you're here, say hi. It's about taking the time to look at what you have done. Look at yourself just for a moment, and we're going to do a little exercise at the end. Just look at where you were 5 years ago. Look at what you've done, and we're going to actually do this. So just think about it for right now. Think about where you were 10 years ago and 20 years ago, even a year ago, because I know I have seen a lot of people really making great headway, even though sometimes you're taking a few steps back, maybe in business or socially or whatever with this, what's going on right now. However, a lot of us have been a lot more reflective and so hopefully have gained in the personal end and really discovered things about yourself to be able to use moving excuse me, moving forward. And if you journal, does anybody journal out there? If you journal, it's really great because of the benefits that you get from it. But not only that, you can take a look back at where you were and really notice, really appreciate that, yes, you overcame certain things and you have taken those steps. You've taken those incremental steps and look at where you are right now, because so often we don't, and we start comparing ourselves to someone else and start thinking, well, I should be here, or maybe I should have be doing something else, or whatever it is. No, you are exactly on the right path. You're exactly the way where you're supposed to be. So really take that to heart and know, and by recognizing it, it helps you to focus on you. And we need to train our brains. And you may say, well, yeah, I already know this, and I do that. Well, I'm saying take a little bit more time, because I know I don't do it enough, and I don't take enough credit for what I've done. And we take it for granted. We get so caught up in everything. And if we want to train our brains to be the best version of ourselves, then we need to feed it this information. We need to feed it this evidence. And our journey is about each little step, and sitting back and enjoying that. And yes, yeah, you've heard it before. Really taking this to heart, and and sometimes it's just taking that first step. And when you can look back and say, wow, I did it before, I took that leap of faith, that means I can do it again. And look at how many times you've overcome something. And that initial step, don't you find sometimes that that's the hardest? It's just saying, okay, I'm going to do it. And knowing that you're going to be okay. And that is the hard part, because it's having that faith. Because we think it's going to fall apart. We think we're going to fail. We think maybe it's going to be too much work. And what am I getting myself into? Oh no. Or sometimes it's just that you don't know the next step. And that's when really talking with someone or having a coach and figuring that out is so important. So your path is different from anyone else's, and you can fall into that rut of looking at someone else and thinking, oh, I should be doing this or that, like I mentioned. And again, doing what you do best, finding that, figuring that out, and being okay with that. And a lot of times, by looking at what you did then, you can see the patterns of what worked for you. You can see what you're really great at. You can see how you shined and how you overcame something. So take that to heart and feel that emotionally inside you. Your life is meant to be lived by you, no one else. You're not living your life for anybody else, and making the most of it for you, because you're the only one that counts. You matter. And when you're happy, everyone's happy, right? It's just the way it is. Again, if you're here, say hi. I know there's a lot going on right now, and a lot of people do come back to this replay. So this is so looking back then and now, sometimes too, in a different scenario, sometimes if you look at what you're doing, you find you're doing too much. And that's the other end of it. You're doing more when maybe you should be doing less. And what I mean by that is sometimes less is more. If you cut something out, a lot of times we stay stagnant because there's something we need to tweak. There's something we need to change. And we keep doing the same old thing over and over and over and over again. And maybe it's just about creating a void so you are able to, we talked about this in my program, Phoenix Rising, Confidence Igniting, enable for you to have something new. You have to let go of something. And it could be small. It could be something very small. And maybe it's something that you find really tedious that's getting you down. Whoops, excuse me. Tedious that's really pulling you down. and making you feel like it's just getting in your way of doing anything progressively. So for me, like for instance, even in my business, I've thought maybe posting seems to be a very tedious task. And so I'm looking at different platforms to help me. As a matter of fact, I have one that's going to help me to post a little bit easier. So little things like that, because again, we get caught up in the rut. And maybe it's something you need to get rid of. And it could be just some simple thing. It's about shedding ourselves in life. Shedding, as in a dog sheds and gets new fur, a snake sheds, gets a new skin. Sometimes we just need to shed whatever we have, something to really make a difference. And this, what is it for you that you need to get rid of? And it could be just something simple, because I think the biggest reason we don't is because of fear. Fear that we've had it for so long, fear that what's going to happen if it goes away? Am I going to be okay? I was even afraid. I mean, I'm speaking to myself too, of getting rid of clothes, for crying out loud. And I still have clothes that I hang on to. I hate to admit, but and I really need to. Although I've gone through my clothes, and sometimes you need somebody to help you with that, and things that they're emotional, and you get attached to them, and somehow you think that if it's gone, it's just going to be out of your life. You always have that memory, and so learning to let go, that's another big piece, and looking at then what happened and what's holding you back, really, what, thinking about what is the next step. And the most important thing looking back is, what have you learned? And this is what I really want you to do in this exercise. It's everything that happened previously and you have overcome, or you have taken those steps to do, you've learned something along the way. And again, looking at what you've learned and taking the time to feed your brain this information, because again, your brain needs this information. Yes, you know it. Yes, you've done this exercise or you've thought about it. Today, I'm going to ask you to really sit down, and we're going to just and really do this. So just let that sink in, that you're going to be okay no matter what you let go. And it could be old beliefs, it could be limitations, it could be something that you are just holding on to, and and you're afraid. It breaks down to having fear of whatever it is. And honor yourself for doing this. So uh, give up something. And when you give something up, you're going to get something better in return. So if you have this mindset, as a mindset coach, I use this. When you give something up, you are going to get something better. Think of it that way, as opposed to letting it go. And that's really a great mindset. So what I want you to do is to just stop, and again, if you're here, let me know, say hi. And of course, if you like this, I appreciate it. I'm here for you. Let me know what you all want to hear about. And I'm doing this, again, I'm doing it for you. So I appreciate the comments, because without comments, or without the likes or hearts or whatever, this isn't going to be seen by many people. So I appreciate you all for listening. And here's, before we do the exercise, this is another really great piece of information. And I know that it's been proven that we are only operating on about 10% of our capacity. Think about that. When I saw that, and now I'm reminding myself of that, what more could you do? And it really does start with seeing what you've already done and using that. Because any success is 95% mindset and 5% strategy. So it's what you're thinking. And that's, as a mindset transformational coach, that's what I do with women. Not only get rid of blocks you may have, limitations, things like that, have the right mindset. Because that, with the right mindset, you can do anything. All right. So if you have any questions, let me know. The exercise is to just grab a piece of paper, and on one side, make two columns, put then and put now, and write down all the things that you've done, all the things that you kind of took a leap of faith. Did you move somewhere? I moved to Chicago. I got married. I went to Japan working for a little bit. That was a huge leap of faith. And I also, I started my own business, actually a business before in nutrition, and now I'm starting this business in life coaching. And oh my gosh, there are so many different things. I made a whole list. And what did you learn? So in the now column, I want you to write down what you learned. And again, you may think why would I want to do that? It's for your brain. Is your brain worth it? Are you worth it? Are you worth having the right mindset? You need to train your brain. You need to tell it. If you don't tell it, it's not going to remember. There's too many other things going on. We're too busy. So whether it's it's whatever it is, whatever you learned, maybe it's negative, maybe it's positive. Hopefully it's positive. If it was something negative, that's good too. Because then we know not to do it again. And look to see if you're doing it again. Really look at this, take this sheet, and apply what you've learned from this. Apply this evidence for more confidence. And it's about rising above any obstacle, because obstacles are always going to happen. They're always going to be there. And it's your choice. It's your choice how to handle them. It's your choice what to do with your brain. It's your choice what you focus on. And this helps you with concentration, which is going to help you with focus. And again, I talk about this in my program, and we have focus exercises. The more you do it, the better your focus becomes. So it's your choice. We can overcome any obstacles. I hope this has been helpful. Again, let me know if you like this or whatever. Make a comment. I appreciate it. And I hope you have a great day today. Focus on you. Stay away. There's a lot going on in the news, I know, and I pray and have gratitude and love for everyone out there. Stay safe, keep your immune system up, and have a fabulous Phoenix Rising Friday. Have a fabulous weekend and week, and I'll be back next week with more tips and inspiration. Oh, and go to Never Settle Life Coaching if you like what you hear. NeverSettleLifeCoaching.com. And also, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I do free just chats for 45 minutes to give you any information that you may be looking for. and just to discuss if you've got something that's really bothering you, whatever. I'd be happy to do that. And let me know how you're doing. All right, everybody. Bye bye.